Hollyhock. It's Detective Elysée again. Last week we learned about habitats. Do you remember what a habitat is? That's right, a habitat is a home. Every animal has a habitat, including us. And you know, for a habitat to be a good one, it has to have, absolutely must include. Well, what do you think? For a habitat to be livable, what does it really need? Hats, food, or guitars? If you chose food, you got it. So let's think of some examples. Last week, you told me that a polar bear lives in the Arctic. But what does it eat in the Arctic? Raspberries, seals, or porcupines? That's right, polar bears eat seals in the Arctic. And last week, you told me that dolphins live in the ocean. So what do they eat in the ocean? Acorns, turtles, or fish? Dolphins eat fish in the ocean. Okay, so we've discovered that every animal's habitat has to have plenty of food. Some animals go hunting for their food every single day, like polar bears and dolphins. Other animals find a lot of food at once and store it for later, like squirrels and scrub jays. What does your family do in your habitat at home? Do you go hunting for food every single day? Or do you have somewhere in your home that you store food for later?
Do you store food in your habitat?
We humans have created a way of life based on keeping our food for later. You know what? All this talk about food has me hungry for some kitchen science. Okay, Hollyhock detectives, we're going to do a science experiment. The experiment is going to help us investigate why we keep our food clean and dry when we store it in our home habitats. Here's what you will need. A piece of bread, 3 plastic bags, a piece of paper, and a marker. First, break your piece of bread into 3 pieces. But wait, don't touch it, because there's germs all over your hand. And this is an experiment, so we need to be very careful about germs. You might want to ask a grown-up around you to break the bread up using a knife. Now, here's what we're going to do first. Take 1 piece of bread and touch it a lot. Rub it all over your hands and on the back of your hands. Give it to your grown-up and have your grown-up rub it on their hands too. And keep doing it, maybe for a whole minute. What do you think we're getting all over this piece of bread? That's right, we're getting our germs all over it. Okay, when you're done with that, put this piece of bread in your first plastic bag. Now, we're going to go wash our hands really well so that none of the other bread has any germs on it. Now, we're going to take our second piece of bread and we're going to get it wet. So take a spoon and drip some water on your bread 6 times. Great. I'm going to put this bread in our second plastic bag. And our third piece of bread, we're going to leave exactly how it is, with no changes. This is called the control. So take your clean hands and put your control bread in the third plastic bag and close it up. All right, Hollyhock scientists and detectives, you can watch your bread and keep track of the results every day until our next Zoom meeting on Tuesday. So if today's Friday, that means you'll watch your bread on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then show us at circle time on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
So here's how to keep track of your results, like any good scientist.
First, you need to label your 3 bags: germs, wet, and control.
Just like we've learned in our classroom, anytime we do a science experiment, we need to make a hypothesis. Remember, a hypothesis is a guess or a prediction. So write down what your hypothesis is for each type of bread. What's going to happen to it?
Now I'm going to make a chart so I can write down my hypothesis for each bag, and then a space to say what happens to it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Your adult can help you make this chart. Here's what it looks like when you start to fill in your chart. Look at your bread each day and write down what you notice.
Okay, Hollyhock, we're counting on you to be scientists and figure out why humans in their habitat at home have to keep their food dry and clean. What's going to happen to your food now that it's wet and has germs on it? You tell us. We'll find out on Tuesday during our circle time. Bye, Hollyhock.